planning to sue.
This is an attempt to massively eviscerate one of the most effective environmental laws in this country, the Clean Water Act.
Chris Wilkie is executive director of Puget Soundkeeper Alliance, one of Western Washington's most active water protection groups. He took this picture of a dried stream bed near the Snoqualmie River, which flows with snowmelt and heavy rains. He says it's a good example of what would not be regulated under the new rule, because the Trump EPA would no longer include isolated wetlands and streams that don't flow year-round.
These waterways are indeed connected, whether it's through groundwater or through wetlands, and what goes on in these areas dramatically impacts the health of navigable waters. Plus, these waterways have their own intrinsic value as well.
The new rule focuses its regulatory authority on what are called navigable waters, which means there's enough water for a vessel. It also continues to regulate any other waterways that are next to navigable waters and exist year-round.
Everything will still be regulated. The state of Washington has the ability to regulate these waterways right now, and we are doing so. They just can't blame the feds for the overreaching regulations anymore. So I think the Obama administration overreached, and I think the Trump administration, like in so many places, is making a natural correction to what happened under Obama.
Senator Doug Erickson says the Obama rule was too broad and hard for states to implement. Wilkie disagrees, saying it wasn't strong enough.
I am concerned about the implications of this action, but I also think that it will fail. This regulation, if it is confirmed, would take us back to the days before the Clean Water Act.
In Seattle, I'm Alison Morrow.